Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Francisco. Um, so now that we have pretty much wrapped up some of the major development for our Pomodoro timer, now we're gonna start tracking our intervals, and we'll see what intervals are work intervals and what are breaks. At what point are we gonna prolong our break into a longer 25-minute to a 40-minute break, just depending on how you want to set that up. So let's go ahead, and you'll see that it's a little bit different. I went ahead and switched my operating system again. Still Linux, so won't be any change for that. So let's go ahead and just start up our applications. We're gonna do npm run start. We'll run that application here, and let me just go ahead and it's a little bit different for me since I've set up a different application or different operating system. But just make sure you click on what your npm application gives you back. Application build on the CLI gives you back. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start back with here. So we still got that working here. We did stop for a minute and see if we could validate once we go past 0 if our code will let us just set this to 000. So let's go ahead and just give it a try, and we'll just kind of wait for here. I'll pause it, and then we'll be back whenever it comes back. Okay, so we're back, and it should stop now. Okay, perfect. So now the timer stopped, the sound sequence stopped. So now that we know that we can continue and start our timer again. Okay, so I guess here's a problem. I guess there's another one here, is that once it reaches 0, it won't want to start again. So let's figure out why it's doing this. Okay, so we can, because it's probably setting up to 0. So we can set up some logic here. So we'll go ahead and figure out how we can keep track of this state. So I said state, so that kind of already gives you an idea. So we'll go ahead and go over here and add a new state, and we'll kind of completed, and then we'll go ahead and set complete, and we'll go ahead and put use state, and then we'll return this to false, not dale. All right, cool. And we're gonna do this one called work interval, and then we'll do a set work interval. And on the comments, let me know if the keyboard is annoying y'all. I hope the noise gate stops it, but if it doesn't, just let me know. I can always switch keyboards. This is just like the one that I happen to have at the time, so we'll call this break interval. Set work, set break interval. We'll go ahead and do use state. And we'll do this one as 0. Okay, cool. So we have these states to keep track of what's going on so far. So let's go ahead and go back here. And so once everything ends, okay, so check if time ends. So once everything ends, we'll set everything to 0, set running loop is false, and then we'll stop. So at here, we'll do set completed to true, okay? And then we'll just have that there. And then once, actually, I don't think we need to keep track of that. Set time. Okay. Actually, what we can do is set time minutes to 25. Actually, that's what we should do, not 0. And then set completed. So, and then here, we should probably do a background. So let's see if we can insert some CSS here. I'd like to take a shortcut. So there's various Pomodoros that once it's running, it'll be red. And then once you're on a break, it'll be a different color on the background. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So let's go into styling it a little bit more. So let's go into our actual application side. Let's save this. And then let's look over here. So we're going to want to add around this area just a way that we can keep track of what interval this is. So I'll go ahead and put underneath the button. Okay. So I want to copy this right here and just do that. Kind of tidy up a little bit here. And then I'll do H2, I think will be a good one. And then we'll do a span for our interval. So we'll have this one set to this, and then I think this one will be work interval. And then this one we'll call it break interval here. And I think we're, oh, there we go. So we should be able to reflect these two. And if we go back to our review, I broke something. Let's do Control-Shift-I. What's going on here? Let's move this to the left. Oh, nope. To the right. Console. Okay. So use state 0. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Okay, cool. And I think maybe we should do some padding Y here. Let's do some padding here so we can kind of make sure that it's not all cluttered and it looks nice. I think it should be MY2. Let's go back here. It gives a little bit more spacing. H2, what's our display to? And then we'll go ahead and change this class name to display. Go ahead and change this into display 3. That might be a little bit better. Oh, no, it's too big. Let's do 5. I think 5 might not exist. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Bootstrap. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go to documentation, and we'll set this one to display. Typography, no, okay. There we go. Typography, Bootstrap. That's weird. I don't know why. Oh, the display is already kind of big. And we'll just change it to lead. Should be better. Okay, go back. Oh, wow, that's not. Let's just leave it on H2. That should be fine. Okay. And then actually here we could probably do something interesting. Change this one to H1. Make it a little bit bigger, pop out. I guess I don't want to do that. That's a little bit too much. I do want it to not be bold. So let's go back into typography and let's change alignment, a list. Text utilities, abbreviations, inline. Well, that's not really what we wanted to use. So I guess we'll just kind of leave that alone for now, and we'll kind of work on the styling later. Let's go back here and look and see what our application is showing us here. All right, cool. So, so we're gonna want to build in some logic here to keep track each time that we're just kind of hitting this timer end. So we'll have to set the completed here. So keep track of intervals. So we'll want to keep track of the intervals, and then we'll go ahead and we'll actually want to go back into our loop here and add our work interval and our break interval into the list of items that we want to track, states that we want to track. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and do a set interval. And is that interval? Set work interval. Okay. To work interval. Work interval +1. And then set break interval. Okay. So set completed, and I think completed. Okay. And I think we'll also want to add another state to keep track of on break. So I don't really think we need this. We should probably change this to on break. Okay. Oh, set on break. So we'll use this to set it that we're on a break. So we'll do this on break, set it to true. All right, so now this is where we'll kind of have like the interesting logic here. So we'll set or, and our or will be is on break. Okay, so is running. Okay, so or on break, and then we'll do this if is, and then we'll do if is running. We'll encapsulate this. Okay, I think this is, and I think maybe at this point we'll want to put our logic here. Set interval Pomodoro. Okay. So this will be our logic for our Pomodoro regular interval. So let's go ahead and put it here. We'll execute that. Unreachable code. Okay. Line 72. Okay, so I broke something here. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. Let's go back then. Okay. So let's just kind of keep this one out, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so here is where we should have our logic here. So we'll just go put our if statement here. So what we'll do is if is running, and where's my and? I can't believe I can't find my and. It's a sad day today for me. And on break, and not on break, we'll flip our on break to true, and then we'll set the work interval to our work interval. We'll add it to 1. Sorry, had a brain freeze right there. And then here's what we'll do is we'll set our time and second back. So we should probably keep this one last, and we'll set our time to 5 minutes. Okay. And then we'll have our if here, and if it's running, and this is actually the wrong one here, and on break, so okay, so at this point it says running a false. So that should be, so if it's not running and it's on break, we'll put on break equals false, and then we'll change this one over to set break interval to break interval and add 1 break interval. Okay, cool. And then we'll put set time in minutes. We'll set that to 25. Okay. So that should be the logic that should keep track of our break intervals. So let's go back and double check and make sure that it's working. Right. And we'll do some movie magic, and we'll kind of skip through. Had to put my headphones back. Okay, so now we got a negative. We got a negative over here, so that's not the results that we wanted. Okay, so we got a negative, so it means that we did set our time in a second. We did set our running to false, but we did not we did not go into this if statement, right? This embedded if. So, okay, we'll fix that one as well. Okay, so we did fix the issue that we were having with the timer. So I'll go ahead and explain it once we just kind of showcase what happens now. Okay, so we'll go ahead and see that now. We'll go into our 5-minute interval for our break. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take this aside and go back, and I'm gonna pause it because it still keeps looping on the 5-minute interval here. And that's just one of the bugs that we have currently. So let's go back here and I'll go through my changes to kind of explain what we did change. So we did add our one break and set on break. So that was something. And then we made a big change whenever our time ends. So we removed the set is running to false because we want to continue to use a use effect loop and run this interval as long as it's running. Cool. So we'll go ahead and continue after that. So we keep our stop, our clock loop stop, and our bell effects, sound effects to play. Now, if we're not on break, we'll set a 5-minute and the on break, not the TypeScript, and then we'll set the on break to true. That way we know that we're on break. And we'll set the work interval to 1. So I think this is a problem because as you'll see, as soon as we started our break, we didn't mark our tally that, hey, we completed one work interval. So that's not good. Let's go ahead and go back to our working. So this is all that we did, and we also added our time in minutes, work interval, and break interval. So let's go back here and go to where we're working and set this to on break because it's not one break. That's weird. Where is one break? Oh. Okay. So we need to set on break. That's not probably why it's not working. And if on break is true, okay. So let's move this forward. As soon as we go into this loop conditional, we'll want to set our work interval and to 1. So, okay, we're keeping track of our, okay. So at this, we'll move this one back over here and we'll set it on, okay. And then we'll set our timer in minutes on 25. Okay, cool. So let's go back and give it a try. So let me just reiterate. We set our work interval to add 1, and then we set our break interval to add 1, to count 1, tally up 1 break. So whenever we're done with our work interval, we'll go ahead and, because we're not on break, we'll tally up our work interval, and then we'll set our timer to 5, and then we'll set on break to be true. And then if we are on break and we reach the 0 seconds again, we'll go to on break, set break interval, to 1, and then set our minutes back to 25 so we know that we're not on break. All right. So let's go back here and give it a try. So I'm going to go ahead and decrease my time. And I'll be back just to make sure that we tally up our break. Okay, so that should be enough. And hopefully we'll go back to 25. Okay, so that's a big problem. I'm not sure why it went to 5. So Control Shift I. Okay. We'll see that we had an issue expected. I'll go ahead and clear this. All right, see what happens after we go. Okay. One break is not a function. Okay. Let's pause this. And oops. So I think maybe I just need to refresh this current build. I think that's what's going on. All right. Let's go ahead and just start from scratch. Let's see if we tally up. Okay, so let me go back to, so if I go to 0, it should just let me continue. All right, so we did tally up our interval of finished. Cool. So that's cool. And I think what we can do here is I just had a refresh, by the way, if you were wondering what the troubleshooting was. What we can do here is I can add and if I save this, I'll just put work intervals and breaks completed. And let's just go back here. Cool. And this kind of tore it up a little bit more than what I wanted. Okay. That's not really what I want. So let me put this here and I'll take this back here. Do a little bit of this. Hopefully y'all can see, and I don't need all that space for this. Yeah, I guess it's a weird way that the Flexbox is setting these up. So I guess what I can do is I can go to I'll just go to get emoji, and so you can go to get emoji, and it's let's go ahead and place it over here. Get emoji. Cool. And I'll get a tomato. I think there's a tomato emoji. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, here we go. Tomato emoji. And I'll go ahead and paste it over here. And then I'll go over here and, oh man, don't you just hate ads? Go over here and what do we want to do? Let's do the beach emoji. It's beach with the umbrella. That'll be our break. Sounds pretty relaxing to me. And we'll just kind of paste that over here. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this because we should now, once this is completed, we should tally up, based on our logic, we should tally up our break interval to 1, and then we should go into set in time, and I could actually just decrease the amount of time because it should set on break to false. Okay, so that's what it should do, and I'll see you there. And then we should see ourselves going back into, okay, so we completed another work interval, and now we're on break. So that's cool. We can do a lot of cool things based on what we're at with these states, and I would encourage you, since now we're stopping the way that it sounds with the clock, maybe we can implement a different sound while we're on break. Maybe like a beach sound or something relaxing. So yeah, we have completed really what is one of the most essential functions of the Pomodoro timer, is just keeping track of how many times our intervals have passed and when we're going to take a break. Now, we can add just additional things, but the next one's just going to be for fun. So you can skip this next one if you want to continue on to the deployment, but we're just going to wrap it up with some more styling to make it look nice. And we'll keep one of the essential functions actually would be to take like the longer 30-minute break once we hit 4 intervals of work that we've done with the Pomodoro. So that would be something to keep an eye on. So you can skip that, because I'm pretty sure by now you can probably guess how your logic will be shaped. The next step is to deploy on AWS. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to ship this as a Docker container, and then we'll deploy it on a AWS EC2 instance, which should be pretty easy. We'll build from our EC2 instance, and there we'll kind of get into Linux and how to start building your Docker packages. All right, see you on the next one. Okay, that should be enough of a span. Cool. So now we're fully back, which we should start the loop actually here, and we should probably set it to start that way. Okay. All right. So that's how it works. Now we can pretty much have our tallies of how many intervals of our Pomodoro we completed and how many times we've completed a break. So now we should be able to flip back through the different states of whether we're on break or not. So let's go ahead and do this.